Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, GCW Fight Club Day 1. There's a 2-day event here. This was Fight Club Day 1, The Art of War Games. This had the main event of the War Games, Team Freedoms versus Team GCW. Alright, first match was Tony Deppen versus Alec Price. A good back and forth match starts with Alec Price. He is one young, talented guy. I want to see more of him on these big shows like this. He can do things. He's got this crazy-ass jump-up back kick. He does as a finisher. It's almost like a curb stop, version of the curb stop, but he kind of does it backwards. Him getting the victory over Tony Deppen, which was shocking, because typically Tony Deppen is the gatekeeper for GCW. He's got that kind of catch-as-catch-can style of wrestling, just kind of all over the place, doesn't really have a particular style, unlike Alec Price doing more the high-flying style. Alec Price getting the victory there. I ended up giving it 3 1/4. Next up, we had a Fatal 4-Way. They mentioned about number 1 contender, but it really didn't go anywhere. We'll talk more about it, but it was Joey Janela, Jordan Oliver, Masha, Slamovich, and Jack Cartwheel. 4 very different styles. Joey Janela, that kind of deathmatch, kind of catches cat skin style. Jordan Oliver, the kind of high flying style. Jack Cartwheel does a lot of cartwheels. And then Masha Slamovich, kind of the deathmatch / submission style. This was one of those matches where it had good pieces to it, but all the pieces together kind of didn't really give you a lot of oomph to it. Joey Janela ended up getting the victory. He ended up giving it 3 1/4. It was just kind of stale almost. Next up, it's a really cool storyline. You don't get a lot of storylines in independent wrestling. Richard Holliday versus Charles Mason. Charles Mason is this methodical, kind of mob boss kind of character a little bit. Comes out wearing a tie. He just kind of thinks he's better than everyone else, and he's got his big muscle and paro, and he's just very methodical in everything he does. He's been attacking people. He went after Effie and Alec and all their friends, and he had Billy Dixon under his spell for a little bit, and Paro just kind of does everything for him, and he will pick people at random and just attack them and then have matches with them. Like you hear at Richard Holliday, and he tried to get Holliday to join him, and Holliday told him no, and he's, there's times he'll be wrestling someone, he'll just methodically be ripping their, beating them with the belt buckle and that kind of weird stuff. And then Paro will get involved, and that's what this match was, pretty much what this match was. The fact that Richard Holliday was able to come back to professional wrestling after going through leukemia and stuff, I know Roman Reigns did too, but Richard Holliday was actually out for a lot longer. This match was okay. I just kind of liked the Charles Mason character. I'm going to end up giving it 2 1/2 with Charles Mason getting the victory there with the help of Paro. Richard Holliday, I want him to show up in AEW. He was part of the dynasty with MJF and Hammerstone, and I want him to kind of, with Adam Cole being out, kind of be that friend of his and freeform the dynasty. Don't think it'll happen though. But next up, we had an 8-man tag match. Intergender tag match. It was Cunt, Second Gear Crew, and Bussy, which is One Manders, Mance Warner, and Matthew Justice teaming up with Alec and Effie. And it was a 12-man tag. Soy Rick was also. And then a bunch of guys. We had Wasted Youth was in there. Who else was in that match? Brandon Toon, I can't remember all the bunch of guys. Yeah, I don't have the full card here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find who those Mr. guys were with Wasted Youth. Oops. Anyway, so and they had these cunt shirts on too. That kind of made it even better. Yeah, it's not listed here right now. So anyway, go on. Second gear crew and Bussy end up getting a victory there. I thought it was an okay match. I ended up giving it 2 3/4 star. It's just so many people and so many just here, there, and everywhere. It was just, here we go. It was Wasted Youth, Marcus Mathers, Dylan McKay, Cole Radrick, Brendan Toon, and Shane Mercer. Shane Mercer, big tough guy. A lot of power. The other guys were more the high flying style. It was SC Super Cunt, Alec Catch, Effie Mansmore, and Rangers Sawyer-Rack. So yeah, it was like, yeah, it's 10-man tag, 10-person intergender tag match, all over the place. SG Cunt getting the victory, 2 3/4 star. Next up, we had the GCW World Heavyweight Title on line. We had champion Blake Christian versus Jimmy Lloyd. It was kind of there to me. I mean, Blake Christian's freaking awesome. He's one of the top independent wrestlers in my mind. Kind of a young version of Will Ospreay. Jimmy Lloyd, he can deathmatch, he can scramble match. Pretty decent in the world title match here. I ended up giving it 3 1/4, and Blake Christian got the victory. And then we had our main event. We had the Art of War Games 3. Team Freedoms versus Team GCW. Basically, it's the War Games that the WWE does, with a whole lot more weapons, a whole lot more glass, tubes, chairs, doors, scaffolding set up. They had they had 2 of them set up, one on each side of the ring, outside the cage. And the scaffolding was higher than the cage. And below this, they had chairs, doors, tubes, glass, piled up as high as, taller than the cage almost. And yeah, they had 2 huge spots, one for each of them. So for Freedoms, you had Masashi, Takeda, Toru Sugiura, Violent Jack, Freedom's President Toshi Suzuki, and Jun Kashi. For Team GCW, had Rina Yamashita, John Wayne Murdoch, Miedo Extremo, Ciclope, and then the god of this shit, Nick Gage. Takeda and Rina Yamashita started it for each team. Team Freedoms had the 1-man advantage due to a flip a coin at the beginning of the show. And when Miedo Extremo came out, he came out, climbed on the scaffolding, and did a dive in. And then it was elimination once everyone got in it. Multiple people got eliminated from the spots outside. You had Violent Jack and Miedo Extremo. They took the first spot. They came off of the scaffolding and went through this massive amount of wood and metal and tubes and whatnot. And because they hit the floor, they were eliminated. You had Rina Yamashita and Toru Sugiura fighting on top of the other scaffolding. Toru, he went to climb off, and there's like a ladder, like a bar ladder there. Rina hit him with the tube, and then he fell back and just threw massive amounts at a table that had light tubes taped across the top of it, along with other stuff below it. And obviously, eventually hit the floor when he fell through this structure, and he was eliminated. Nick Gage, him and Jun Kashi had just about a 3 to 5 minute run at the end. of just nothing but violence and tubes. And Gage pulled his pizza cutter out and went to slice. June took it from him and sliced himself. Yeah, this was just as wild to get when it come to tubes. And I mean, they were just eating tubes left and right. These big spots on these two structures. I ended up giving it 4.5. That is the most I've given any type of death match like this. But it was just that wild. Team GCW and Nick Gage getting the victory. Again, 4.5. Probably the top I've ever got in a match like this. But that was GCW Fight Club Day 1, The Art of War Games. On Sunday night, there is Night 2. We'll have that review up either Sunday or Monday. But that is GCW and Fight Club. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.